Hello and welcome to ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon. In an ongoing effort to battle prescription and illegal drug abuse among teens in Lake Orion, the North Oakland Community Coalition holds numerous events throughout the year. But most recently, the organization enlisted the help of several area judges to spread their message to teens and their parents. ONTV's Taylor Goldman went to the court to bring us the story.
On Thursday, February 28th, the third annual court night took place at the 52nd Third Court in Rochester Hills. Two organizations came together to host the event, the Rochester-Auburn Hills Community Coalition and the North Oakland Community Coalition, which represents Lake Orion and Oxford. Teens and parents visited the courtrooms of judges Lisa Azadorian, Julie Nicholson, and Nancy Karniak to hear about the consequences of underage drinking, prescription, and illegal drug use. Judge Nicholson paired up with Lake Orion Police Chief Jerry Narsh to discuss the stats and consequences of heroin use.
One of the unique factors of heroin and some of the synthetic drugs and prescription use is they're all felonies, so that's a very serious crime. And it's going to hamper just about every aspect of their freedom and their lives. And in addition, the highest death rates are from those kind of drugs as well. So we want to keep people out of jail, but we also want to keep people alive and healthy and live vibrant lives.
And there's going to be a very extended prison time for possession of what we call Schedule I drugs. And obviously, that's the criminal consequences, and you also have not only the risk of safety and death to that person, the user, but also to other individuals that they come in contact with when they commit crimes in order to fund their drug habit.
As visitors moved from courtroom to courtroom, they were greeted by each judge. Judge Nancy Karniak was joined by Auburn Hills Police Officer Dan Pratcher to discuss marijuana and prescription drug use. Karniak told us she hopes everyone got the right message on the effect of drug use.
I know that just by the individuals who are coming, there are parents who are here, there are educators who are coming, there are students who come, so it's a wide variety of individuals who are coming to the program. So I think everybody gets a little something different out of it depending upon where they're coming from and what their perspective is.
Executive Director Julie Brenner from the North Oakland Community Coalition helped put this event together by sending invitations to different organizations, inviting people to RSVP, or also by showing up. Brenner told us she hopes this event helps teens and parents understand the consequences of drug use.
I think that what's been happening is that this event has grown, again, with it being the third year. We had about 60 people the first year. We had 100 last year. We've got over 200 people registered, and most of them are teens. So parents are really starting to pay attention and understand that when they actually get to this point, when they're coming to court to see the judges, it's at that critical point where they've made a really bad decision about the use or the things that they've been using, and when they get here, it's kind of a final moment. So we're hoping to prevent that by educating parents and teens about what could happen and get them to understand that there are some major decisions, when they make major decisions like drinking underage or using drugs, that there are some major consequences that are long-lasting.
The number one message that organizers here are trying to state today are the consequences of drug use. As Police Chief Jerry Narsh had stated, you're going to end up in one of three places: the jail, the hospital, or in the morgue. From 52nd 3rd District Court in Rochester Hills, I'm Taylor Goldman for ONTV News.
Thanks, Taylor. On Saturday, March 16th, a fundraiser benefiting the NOCC will take place from noon to 4 p.m. at Lake Orion High School. The organization Ladies Lovin' Charity presents the ultimate shopping extravaganza, featuring over 50 unique vendors and local stores. The Women's Life Insurance Society will match the first $500 raised. For more information, visit Ladies Lovin' Charity on Facebook. Throughout the year, the Orion Art Center contributes to the culture in the community with exhibits, classes, and events. But these things wouldn't even be possible without the center's largest fundraiser of the year, which took place last week. ONTV's Joe Johnson was there and brings us the story.
On Saturday, March 2nd, well over 200 attendees arrived at Addison Oaks to show support for the Orion Arts Center. The theme of this year's gala was the Golden Age of Hollywood, and those in attendance enjoyed a night of dinner and music. Area businesses and artists donated items for a live auction and to fill raffle baskets. The money raised from the event helps the Arts Center fund scholarships and allows the center to offer exhibits and events throughout the year.
I am so grateful for our community support, for the people who are out here supporting us tonight, for all of these businesses that have donated to help the Art Center. I mean, truly, it's heartwarming to me.
The highlight of the evening came when the executive director handed out 2 awards. Recognized as 2013's Artist of the Year was Lake Orion resident Yolanda Garfield.
I just love Yolanda. To me, she is a true artist. She cares about art. Her art is very fresh and dreamy, and she cares about the art and artists, and also has been very involved in the Art Center over the years.
I'm very excited. I'm happy for the Art Center that this event looks so successful, and of course I am honored. The Art Center is so important to me and to other artists who live in this area because they give us a venue by which we can show our work and also learn new things. So it's really wonderful.
Also recognized that evening was Rob Cavanaugh, who has been the Dragon Boat Race Director the past 3 years. Cavanaugh was named 2013's Patron of the Year.
Rob Cavanaugh is truly deserving of the award of Patron of the Year. He's our 2013 Patron of the Year, someone who goes above and beyond the call of duty in the name of the Art Center, and he truly does. He has been on the board for the Art Center. He is also the team captain for the Dragon Boat Races for Dragon on the Lake. Every time I speak with Rob, he is positive, he's motivated, he has ideas, he brings people together for the Dragon Boat Races. Truly deserving of this award.
I'm absolutely honored. It's flattered and very honored. I'm really proud to be in Lake Orion and celebrate the lake in the town. And honestly, it's absolutely just fun to kind of create one of Lake Orion's biggest family festival parties and bring everybody together and watch everybody just kind of having a great time downtown. I mean, Lake Orion is way overdue for a real good festival, and this is only our 5th year, but it's getting bigger and bigger every year, and I think really the festival is really ready to explode. We need more volunteers.
Cavanaugh is already gearing up for this year's Dragon Boat Races, which are part of the Art Center's annual Dragon on the Lake Festival. This year's event is scheduled to take place during the weekend of August 23rd through the 25th. For more information about the Art Center, give them a call at 248-693-4986 or visit their website at orionartcenter.org. In Leonard, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thanks, Joe. This is for all you race fans out there, and I don't mean NASCAR. It's that time of year when the area Cub Scouts gather for their annual Pinewood Derby races. Scouts as young as 6 designed, painted, and tested their custom creations for the big race. Here's Ian Locke with more.
Lake Orion Scout Pack 512's race day was Saturday, March 2nd at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church on Baldwin Road. Scouts proudly displayed their cars for their fellow racers, showing off the hard work they put into their cars. Voting took place prior to race time for the most creative and the most scout-like. The racers met at the pit stop area for tasty treats to charge their engines. And racers also took in the awards table that displayed all of the awards that were up for grabs for the fastest cars and best designs. The racetrack and scoring system were in place and the racers were ready for round 1. For the first race, what place did you get? First place. Look at her. Awesome. Each racer had 3 runs with their total times added together. The cars with the lowest time would be the winner. Aiden! Yeah! Aiden, what place, buddy?
First, I think.
The younger scouts were up first and raced their hearts out. Nice. Tigers, wolves, bears, and webelos raced all morning long. Fans had fun cheering on the cars and watching the results on the big screen as new track records were set. As the final races came to a close, it was time to award the trophies. The scouts were all hushed in anticipation to see which car was king. In the end, the fastest car of them all was from one of the youngest competitors. Johnny Baker, a first grader at Carpenter Elementary School, not only won the top prize for the Tigers, but took home the Grand Champion Award for the entire pack. Johnny now moves on to the district-wide Pinewood Derby race held later this spring. Reporting from Pit Row at the Pinewood Derby, for ONTV News, I'm Ian Locke.
Thanks, Ian. We now turn to Ryan Fields for our weekly sports roundup.
This is Ryan Fields with your weekly sports roundup. We begin with boys basketball on Thursday, February 28th. The Dragons face the Farmington Falcons in their final game of the regular season. The Dragons had a lot riding on the game. They entered the matchup a game behind first place last year in the OAA Blue with a 6-3 divisional record and an overall record of 11-7. Farmington came into the game in 5th place in the Blue with a 3-6 divisional record and a 5-12 overall record. With a victory and a last year loss, the Dragons will walk away OAA Blue co-champs. Lake Orion came out strong to begin the first quarter, but Farmington quickly fought back and headed into the second quarter only down by 1 basket. The teams were evenly matched in the second quarter, and Farmington went into halftime only down by a point. Lake Orion 28, Farmington 27. The second half was a much different story. Lake Orion put on the burners and never looked back, scoring 22 points in the third and only allowing Farmington to put up 6. The fourth quarter was a little more evenly matched, but the deficit was too much for Farmington to overcome. Lake Orion's Chaz Miller had a team-high 17 points, followed by David Henry, who scored 14 for the Dragons. Final score, Lake Orion 64, Farmington 43. Last year also played their final game of the 2012-13 regular season on Thursday. They were up against Birmingham Seahome. The Maples were down after the first half, but Paris Baz led his team to a second-half comeback, putting up 18 on the night and spoiling last year's chances at a lone title in the Blue. With the loss, last year shares the Blue title with Lake Orion. Congratulations to Lake Orion on winning the OAA Blue Championship for the 2012-13 season. The boys' basketball season has come to an abrupt end as they took on the Clarkson Wolves in the opening round of the district playoffs. The Wolves came out firing as they pushed the pace to take an 17-8 lead to end the first quarter. However, the Dragons and their warrior-like mentality climbed back into the game, in large part of their dominance on the boards and good free throw shooting. Lake Orion went a total of 10 of 12 from the free throw line in the second quarter and cut the lead to 3 points going into the half. At the start of the third quarter, with a 25-22 deficit, the Dragons began to use their size and strength on the glass. Out-rebounding the Wolves 35-29 for the game, the Dragons took a 2-point lead with a little over 4 minutes remaining in the third, after a long three by junior guard DeMonte Cruz, in large part due to Jordan Dasuki, who scored 13 of his 21 points in the second half. His 6-point run to end the third and start the fourth quarter essentially closed the door on the Dragons and ended their season. The Dragons fought hard but was unable to pull out the victory. Chaz Miller led the team with 14 points, and John McCarty chipped in with 9 points and 10 rebounds. Unhappy with the result, Lake Orion's coach Rizzi, was happy with the effort his team played with. With a lot of youth on the roster, the Dragons look to retool and come back next year with a vengeance. With the win, the Wolves take on Romeo in the second semifinal game, which will be played at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. After surprising everyone and upsetting Clarkson in their pre-regional matchup, Lake Orion advanced to the next round where they were up against Grand Blanc. Lake Orion came into the game with an 10-11-5 record and were considered the underdogs once again. The first period was quiet as both teams were shut out. Lake Orion struck first with a backhanded goal from senior Mark Nyland, giving the Dragons the 1-0 lead. With about 3 minutes left in the second period, Grand Blanc answered with a power play goal, tying the game at 1 apiece. Grand Blanc would score again, but Lake Orion's freshman Drew Casey would put a rebound past the goalie halfway through the third period, tying the game at 2. That's how regulation would end. Both teams battled in overtime, but it was Grand Blanc who would net the winning goal with just over 2 minutes left in the overtime session. Lake Orion finishes the season at 10-12-5. Congratulations to the Dragons on a well-played season. That's all for sports. On behalf of ONTV, I'm Ryan Fields. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. Remember, you can catch replays of the Dragons' final game right here on ONTV, Comcast Channel 10, or AT&T UVerse Channel 99. You can also watch it on demand by visiting our YouTube page at youtube.com/OrionONTV. Before we sign off, we would like to thank all of the ONTV board members and volunteers who have made our first year in the new studio such a great success. It's been just under a year since we moved in, and we couldn't be happier with the response from the community. Thanks so much, and we look forward to the great years to come. That's it for this edition of ONTV News. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Kayla Brandon. Thanks for watching. We leave you with a look at upcoming events in the local Orion area.